Many decades ago, Tetra Pak single-handedly revolutionized the way that our food products are packaged and transported all over the world. Nowadays, Tetra Pak is equally well known for its EHEDG-certified food processing equipment, especially in the liquid food business. So we may assume that the vice president of the Tetra Pak business unit, Liquid Food, is a busy man who is pressed for time. However, he still found time to take his seat in the newly revised EHEDG Advisory Board and help EHEDG to align its products and services to the current needs of the food and food equipment industry. Frederik Wellendorph, so nice to have you with us and have a talk with you.
Hi, Rob. Thank you very much for having me.
Now, before we get to the advice you have in store for EHEDG, let's first zoom in on Tetra Pak, the company that you work for and that markets its services and products and offerings with the phrase, Tetra Pak protects what's good. How does that phrase relate to sharing expertise, knowledge, and best practices in hygienic engineering and design?
You know, most people know that we kind of pride ourselves in Tetra Pak protects what's good is kind of our motto. And it drives exactly all the areas you're talking about. I have a very good example, and I think I want to use that because I think it's interesting. We've just had one piece of our equipment tested and certified, which we haven't had before. It's a new equipment. Very important to us, very important for us to be competitive. However, it was interesting when it was tested, it was kind of this, we have done this equipment for 30, 40 years. Still something to learn. And I think that is what the EHEDG, together with all the people and suppliers that are involved in this and will work with the, let's say, the design principles, the hygienic design principles that is part of EHEDG.
Now, Tetra Pak has been a long-standing EHEDG member. What was the initial reason to get affiliated with EHEDG? Do you think commercial reasons, or do you consider it to be your societal responsibility to be part of this community?
It's a very interesting question, actually, because if we're honest, we look back historically, Tetra Pak have had their own standards for hygienic design. And I think many customers, at least when we go very back in history, also thought and trusted the design that came from Tetra Pak and have always done. But it has evolved significantly in the last 10, 15 years, where customers are not happy with having, of course, some could argue a biased standard coming from a supplier. So we really need an unbiased standard that everyone can look at and say that is the proof of high quality. So no, our responsibility and interest in being actively part of the EHEDG community and work is certainly not sociable. It is also part of being able, let's say, having a license to do business with quite a large number of our customers. So we see this as important for us.
How do you see the correlation between hygienic design and the quality of your products?
We any day and every day try to, of course, improve the performance of our equipment, and that is very closely linked to performance, and therefore also very closely linked to hygienic design. I, as part of my team, having what Tetra Pak calls all our branded products, so that can be anything from UHT, blending, homogenizers, separators, that belongs under my responsibility. And some of the key areas under my responsibility is also the development of the technologies that we put into these products and after goes into lines at our customers. And we're constantly striving to improve our design to both meet, of course, the EHEDG demands and able to certify our equipment. Many of our customers are requiring that for very good reasons. But there's also a lot broader element to that part is making sure that it performs well can run for longer, have an optimal design, so you can utilize the equipment much better at the customer sites.
You being the new EHEDG Advisory Board member, EHEDG expects you to support EHEDG with advice on how EHEDG can better align its services and products to the actual needs of the food industry. Do you already have a general idea of how EHEDG should do that?
We need to join forces, and we need to be able to do things right first time. I think EHEDG provide that possibility and that, let's say, that foundation. But we also need to be very mindful that it's not a Tetra Pak thing only, or any other supplier or any other customer. We need to join forces in getting this right, because then there is a lot of additional performance and improved food safety we can gain together. And I think that is something that we should really work towards. I'm pretty sure that's already what's happening, but we are also, at least today, living in a world where there's a lot of competition, and we of course kind of protect our own territories, if you like, and our own ability to be able to deliver on these demands that the future will put on us. But these are things that we can all do right, and we can do to improve food safety, because it's going to be crucial. And then, of course, you can add food waste and other things that maybe is not the first thing you think about when you think about hygienic design, but it is also part of it. If you get it wrong, you'll have a lot of food waste. We cannot afford that going forward. So that's how I see it, kind of in a more future perspective.
Some of the food processing companies out there, especially the smaller and medium-sized ones that don't deal with high-risk food products, sometimes wonder if they should invest in hygienic design. It's often more expensive, and they don't want to jeopardize their profitability. Now, you as an equipment provider who develops many different food processing equipment for different types of clients, can you kind of give them some advice within the EHEDG community on that topic? What's your view on that?
It's a tricky question, because I don't think there is a kind of a second standard to food safety. But there is a second standard to how far you can go from when the food is safe till you are actually also delivering a considerably better performance. And I cannot kind of put my finger on that we see a large difference, but I can tell you we have customers that, if it's not certified, they will not buy the equipment from us, EHEDG certified. So that's another angle to it, and for sure this is coming more and more in. We see very different places in the world, new legislation coming in all the time, new high and tough requirements from the authorities that we need to fulfill in many aspects, and quite a few of them, of course, linked to food safety. We've been used to the old A3 standards, what have you, from a design point of view, but it's not like in those demands we see across the globe and that are changing. What can I call it? Is very necessarily hard into food safety. However, they're all leaning towards that, and it's not like you have a second chance with food safety. You have to make sure that the food is safe, and that is our ambition all the time, no matter what customer it is. And I think that's also why we probably appeal to a certain customer group, if I can put it that way, and that not necessarily all the big ones. It's many customers, of course, but yeah, we don't compromise whatsoever, never ever compromise on food safety, and I think we're probably well known for that.
Frederik Wellendorph, Vice President Business Unit Liquid Food at Tetra Pak. Allow me to speak on behalf of the entire EHEDG community when I say happy to have you on board. Thank you for this interview.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Rob.